It's been a while since we've done a night flight video, and the lights on the UMX Twin Otter just look awesome. So I thought we could jump out today and get a flight in and see how realistically we could fly this thing at night. I mean, it's really good. They're bright, they're scale, it's got the blink going on. What more could you ask for on something that just comes right out of the box and is airworthy? I think this might be my favorite thing about both versions of the Twin Otter though. Look at that beautiful hypnotic prop spin. And then this little one, differential thrust, which is so cool. Can you tell I'm just trying to stall a little bit for the sun to go down? I think it's down enough. Let's fly. Who here remembers night flight week on our channel? It wasn't even that long ago. If you do, please give us a like and let us know in the comments. That was like one of my favorite, most memorable weeks on the channel. I had so much fun night flight week. Oh, look at that sunset with those lights, Abby. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Wow. So awesome. What side looks better? Over here in the dark or with the silhouette sunset?
If you want to see the lights on the camera, over here.
Over here, okay. We'll chill over here for a little bit. What's nice about this plane is the very tight space it can use to fly. It doesn't need much space at all. I kind of take for granted the space we have up here. So I use it, but you could just fly this in a very small space if you wanted to. Now you'll notice with these bank and yank turns, the nose is up and the rudder is back a little bit. The tail is kind of a little crooked, and that's because you would want to mix in rudder with that turn. Now if you notice, I am mixing in rudder with that turn, and it's starting to look better and cleaner and more scale. There's not actually rudder, there's not a servo for rudder on this airplane, but there is differential thrust. So when I mix in what would be rudder, that's actually differential thrust, where I showed you at the beginning of this video with one prop spinning and the other's not, or one spins faster than the other depending on how much input you give, and it makes it turn kind of like using rudder. Now here's what's really crazy. If you turn off safe and you climb up and then you give differential thrust, you can do crazy stuff, absolutely crazy stuff with this. I haven't quite figured it out yet because it's not the Ultrix. It doesn't fly like the little flat pizza box, but it can do some wild stuff. Look at that, look at that, there we go. Oh my goodness. And safe saved me because it's flying at night doing that crazy stuff. So this plane can fly really scale and look extremely awesome, but it's probably the most wild scale looking airplane that doesn't do scale things if you throw it out of safe with differential thrust that I've ever seen. It is an extremely versatile airplane. Probably the only negative thing remotely that I can say about it is that it doesn't have a servo set up for the rudder. So there's a non-functioning rudder back there. Normally that would be a problem, but because we have differential thrust and it works so well, and it works well right out of the box, it's not a problem. So we're just gonna go loop, roll. Really beautiful airplane to fly. The roll rate doesn't have to be so fast. We can slow it down a little bit. Loops very nicely. Kind of do a little Cubanate action out here. No, I didn't drop it down low enough, but I don't fly at night that often either, so there we go. Orientation's great on this. Red is on the left, green's on the right, just the way it should be. I've got a blinking light up top on the tail, so I know where my tail is. And forward on the airplane, look at that. Bright, bright headlights. This thing is very easy to identify at night for orientation. It's very airworthy. We'll just differential thrust over. Yeah, that's cool. That's a good way to hammerhead this thing. Roll it around, pull back. Really fun airplane, super easy to fly, very easy to set up. I'm just glad to be out here flying this thing. Oh yeah. Just kind of getting lost in the fun of it, guys. Sometimes, you know, I can talk, but also I just like to enjoy the flight too. Focus on it. Full throttle. I don't even fly this full throttle hardly at all. You can do some wild stuff. Flies inverted okay. I did that on the maiden flight. I don't think I'll put it upside down on this night flight. Let's see what it looks like over on the left side now, Abby, with that sunset. it changes so quick. Matter of minutes. The night sky changes really quickly when the sun goes down. I mean, I can see the lights with my naked eye. Can you on the camera?
Yeah.
Okay. When you're flying at night, you know, you're silhouetting the airplane. You've got to have some really good bright lights that you can trust. Yeah, very cool. And I don't recommend you guys fly planes at night in spaces that you're unfamiliar with. That's really important. You should be very familiar with your space. Like if we have a big chain link fence by us, I'd want to know that that was there so I wouldn't hit it, right? And then the airplane too. I don't recommend you maiden an airplane at night, even if it's a night plane, like the night Radian. You should always maiden that in the daytime when you can see it better, just so you can get it trimmed up if it needs any trim or anything. A beep that you heard is just my 5-minute timer, letting me know we've been in the air for about 5 minutes. The only thing I'd like to have are lights on the runway so I could see the ground. So that's another thing too.
Where our pilot friends or full-scale buddies when we need them.
One for us, yeah. That's another thing. It's nice to be able to see the ground. So if you're ever flying at a place at night, it's really cool to have like just a flashlight sitting on the ground to give you like a point of reference where the runway is. Just some light, because the ground can sneak up on you really quickly at night. And we still have a little bit of daylight right now, just a touch, enough to see. So I should be okay. But I don't know about you, Abby, but my fingers are pretty much ice cold.
Freezing.
It's like 30 degrees out. Abby's still somewhat getting over a little cold here, so I don't want to put this in the air too long. Like I said, I can still see the ground right now, so let's bring it in for a nice smooth landing, hopefully. Get it as close to us as possible. Right now, I'm just flying lights down there. Couldn't even see the airplane, just the lights. Little bounce.
Yeah,
Should I try to smoothen that up?
Yeah, not as good as your previous.
Yeah, right, I know, I agree. So maybe we'll bring it in from left to right. I just zero throttled and it kind of plopped down. So again, you know, I mean, I can see that white stripe, but orientation of the ground and knowing exactly when those wheels are going to touch.
The camera makes it look a little bit brighter than what it actually is right now, you guys.
It's pretty dark. Yeah, the camera does some magic. My eyes are not as good as the sensor on that camera. So let's see if we can get it one more time. I don't know if I can get that smoother. I mean, I've got the battery to do it. I hit a clump of dirt and it launched me in the air right there. Boy, my maiden flight, those landings were smooth as silk. And right here, I just keep skimming the ground.
Bring it closer to you. There you go.
That was it. That was it. I'll take that. That was nice and smooth. Look how well it taxis on the ground. Just because of that differential thrust, it's able to steer extremely well. Probably better than if it just had a nose wheel that steered and a rudder. So that differential thrust really does a fantastic job. Yeah, that was such a fun week when we did night flight week, and this really just made me remember that and have such a good time. The Twin Otter, the UMX Twin Otter, we'll have it linked in the description box below, and know that using that link does help to support our channel and our family at no extra cost to you. I love this little setup. It's got brushless motors, a fantastic flight time. I've not even been able to push it to its extreme yet to get a low battery alarm. It's got a 1S 800 milliamp battery in there, which is really an affordable battery, very efficient flight time. I'm very impressed with that. And I'm just really liking this plane. I'm glad that this exists. So if you're like me, you want to add this to your UMX collection, then be sure to pick one up.
Put the red light on your face, Nathan.
I was avoiding it. Yeah,
you were doing the green light.
Spooky. Yeah. And I think this is
the white lights light your face up the best.
Right there?
Yeah, right there.
I think this is a good time to mention AMA, which is the Academy of Model Aeronautics. We were flying at night, not something that most people do all the time, but because it's something a bit new, a bit different for some people, especially just getting into the hobby, I'd like to highly encourage you have AMA. It's insurance for those of us that fly RC planes, helicopters, and believe it or not, they insure the RC car driver too. Let's face it, some of those TheRcSaylors drivers just don't know what they're doing. I'm just kidding, sort of. And they need to be insured. So it's nice to have insurance when you're flying.
You know, we own a few TheRcSaylors, right?
We have TheRcSaylors, I know, which, you know, we all make mistakes in life, don't we? I'm joking, mostly. But we do encourage you guys to pick up AMA. If something were to happen, God forbid, you crash your plane into someone's car, or a building or something, you just didn't know it was there. As long as you're flying by their recommended rules and guidelines, you're going to be covered. no matter where you're flying. So be sure to check out AMA. We'll have them linked in the description box below. And finally, this nice, beautiful, calm evening. We've had some insanely windy days and just horrible weather lately. It's cold, but there's been no wind, and for that, I'm very grateful to God. I also want to say a massive thanks to our Patreon supporters, because without you guys, we couldn't get out in front of the camera as often as we do. I don't believe we'd brave the cold with the camera anyway and post this kind of thing on YouTube. It's okay to get out and just fly for 5 minutes, but to do a video takes a lot longer than that. So I want to say a massive thanks to our Patreon supporters for constantly encouraging us to get out and have fun in front of the camera and bring everyone around the world along with us. Now, if you missed my maiden flight of this plane, it was a good one. My landings were silky smooth every single time. We'll definitely have to have that video popping up right about now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you there.
Bye.